Yo, what's going on, everyone? My name is Tim.
And I'm Tony.
And welcome to Raw Talk Christian Podcast. Hey, yo, TV, why don't you let everybody know what Raw Talk's all about?
Oh, man, Raw Talk is all about overcoming. Everybody has something to overcome. And what we do, we focus on the beginning stage, the middle stage, and the outcome of all of the various situations and circumstances that, we need to overcome.
Yes, sir. Hey, if this is your first time joining us, we would definitely want to say thank you, welcome. And for people who are returning, we thank you for your support. Thank you for rocking with us and just being there for us and everything like that. So just give you a quick little update. Yo, our podcast numbers are doing real good right now.
Yeah.
And first of all, I want to thank the Lord for it.
Yeah, man.
And then again, I want to thank you all also for joining in, telling people about us, and just spreading the word that we are out here, all right? So today we have a special subject we're going to be talking about, man. And TB, why don't you let them know what we're talking about today, man?
Oh, man, we are talking about overcoming me. Yep, that's right. Not overcoming me, overcoming you. You overcoming you, me overcoming me.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Man, and this is going to be a heavy subject. We were talking earlier, and we kind of got deep into it, really deep into it, and so here we are. We let you all in to our conversations. This is just basically another phone conversation that me and Tim have, or when we link up time to time, this is what we do.
Yeah.
So, and today's topic is a hot one.
Yeah,
overcoming me.
Overcoming me. And one of the reasons why we want to talk about overcoming me is because a lot of times people will find themselves making excuses. Now, I don't want to ever take somebody's situation for granted and say that your circumstances and situations, the way you grew up, didn't have an effect on you or don't have an effect on your life. But we don't want to give too much of reverence to our situations and not take accountability for ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So everybody can be to blame.
Right. Right.
And never you.
Right.
I can't ever, and let me make it personal. I can't be like, well, it's always somebody else and always this and it's always that, and it's never me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
a lot of us use the phrase, every time I do this, they. When really, it's not always they. A lot of times I found it to be me.
Right.
Every time I try to do this, well, why didn't you, Tony, think this through?
Yeah.
So honestly, man, I found myself rushing through stuff, but blaming other people.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's what we do. We are rushed to try to get something, but then blame somebody else, man. So, man, there are a lot of things that we could hit on to where it's like, man, as far as overcoming me.
Yeah. And I tell you, one of the first things that come to my mind, one of the first situations come to my mind is actually, as we said before, like I'm been married for 17 years. All right. And every day is not a great day.
Right.
Every day is not a happy day. But if I'm always in my marriage saying that it's because something my wife did, it's always something that Shay did. She didn't do this, or she didn't do that, or she spent too much money, or she didn't clean up, or she didn't wash the clothes, something like that. If it's always me pointing at her, first of all, I'm wrong in the fact that I'm expecting her to do all this stuff by herself. You know what I'm saying? And so now it's a me thing that I'm trying to avoid or not taking responsibility for.
Right.
So that's one of the main things I think about, because in a marriage, it takes two people.
Right.
And one person can't do it all by themselves.
Right.
And so that's what I think of, like, when it comes to overcoming me.
Another thing too, it's, we try to make something just gender specific, as if women think that men can read their minds. But that's not, you're going to hear from me, okay? That's not true. Everybody does that. Everybody thinks, and here's what, and you want to tell, I'm going to tell you how I know that this is what everybody thinks. Well, why didn't you think of that? Or why you didn't just do this? Or why you didn't just do that?
Right.
Like, you know, like how I supposed to know that this is what you wanted me to do? Everybody does that.
Right.
Everybody. So I can't never say, man, my wife thinks that, you know, I'm supposed to just read her mind and I'm supposed to know that she really want this or she really want that. You know, she need to tell me. But then I turn around and I do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, why she cook this? She know I wanted this. I wanted fried pork chops. She know I like fried food. Why she gonna go and bake this?
You ruined it.
Right. But I like baked pork chops. So she was just taking the initiative to cook.
Right.
But me, I'm like, you know, she should have read my mind. No, it's reading, the people thinking that somebody's supposed to read their mind is not just women who think that. It's everybody. Everybody thinks that.
Yeah. And the same thing, you know, another situation I think of is your work at work. You know, if it's almost playing the victim sometimes. You know, again, I don't take anybody's situation for granted because sometimes you are in the hostile work environment, you know, right? But there are some situations in which if you didn't do the assignment that was given to you,
right,
it's nobody else's fault.
Right.
If you had a deadline and you didn't meet that deadline, it's nobody else's fault but yours.
Right.
You know, when it comes to that job, you know, yeah, your car could have broke down. Yeah, you could have situations going on at home. But for that job and for that business, they said, hey, this is what I need from you.
Right.
And if you can't meet what I need from you, then we have to take some responsibility for that.
Right. Man, so I'm gonna tell you, I was at the gym today. And you know, I think I was, you know how they play sports and stuff like that, you know, on the TV, and I'm looking at the TV and I'm watching, you know, some folks run. And I remember a long time ago, like way back there, like way in the past, like, you know, like you ain't able to see beyond this wall, way back there, you know, in the very far past. I used to run. Used to.
Yeah.
Way back then, you know.
On purpose?
Right, yeah. Because that's what kids did.
Right, okay.
I'm not a kid anymore. Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. You know. But I remember running and racing. But I'm going to tell you something, bro. And I've never disclosed this to anybody. But at a very early age, I settled for just barely mediocre. I settled purposely for just getting by, you know, or even somewhat below average. I settled for it. I remember, you know, we used to race in front of, you know, church, you know.
Yeah.
So I remember, as a matter of fact, Marcus Timms. Remember racing him. Now, Marcus Timms was fast.
Yeah.
Like, he was just fast, period. But the thing is, because I knew he was fast, it's like, okay, I'm going to get out here. I'm going to run fast, but I know I ain't going to beat him, so I ain't even going to try hard.
Right.
So, like, since then, I've been so I'm on the elliptical, and I'm thinking about back then and trying to make up now for back then.
Wow.
Because I hadn't, you know, so like now that hit me, you know, it's like, man, I have settled for so long, and you know what? That was me. that was me. That wasn't settling what wasn't taught to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mediocre wasn't taught to me. You know, that was just me. And we have been doing me for so long that now it's popular to do me.
Right.
But like, when you think about it, when I think about it, I didn't do me right.
Wow.
I didn't do me right, man, because like, I deserve better than what I gave myself.
That's good right there, because here's the thing we look at. You didn't say it was because I didn't have the same opportunities as him. You didn't say anything about, you know what, God made me physically different than him, and that's why I didn't give my all.
I was taller, so that wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't the fact that y'all came from different areas of the city. You know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter was, you saw something that you perceived that was already going to be too much of a challenge, and then you took it upon yourself to say, "I'm good. I do just enough." You know, and I think that, you know, we get into the hindrances of what not actually dealing with or overcoming me, yourself.
Right.
Is the fact that a lot of times we make ourselves less than in our own eyes.
Right.
Watch this. I say in our own eyes because, you know what? Other people don't have the same feeling like that. They don't feel like we're less than. They don't feel like you're less than. It's the fact that we have that feeling about ourselves. Right. Because we're looking at me.
Right.
Me gets in the way.
Right.
My thoughts get in the way. My feelings get in the way. My inadequacies.
Right.
Because I know my inadequacies, they get in the way, and it's like, well, I don't have that same education that person has.
Right.
I don't have a degree like they have, and so that doesn't disqualify you, though.
Right.
You know, so.
And we get satisfied with that, though. And that's what's, you know, it's a disservice to ourselves that we're satisfied with the excuses.
Right.
It's like, so this is what we say. This is what I've said, you know, because I'm going to deal with me. Deal with me. I've said, well, at least I tried. At least. So I'm already thinking about bare minimum. At least. We say, do your best, right? I will encourage you to do your best.
Right.
Because I know you smart, got a great business mind. You know, there's a lot of accolades that I can point out about you. But me, nah. You do your best. While I say, well, at least I
tried.
Right.
At least I tried.
At least.
I like that. I ain't never really think about that. You set yourself up for the bare minimum. You accept the bare minimum. I gave it a shot. I didn't give it my best shot.
Right.
I didn't give it my all. I didn't really apply myself to it. But I tried.
Right.
At least I tried. Man, that's good right there.
Right.
And so when you say that, when you take that attitude of at least I tried, you almost foster a mentality that you're walking in to say, even if there's nobody else that you're comparing, because when you said earlier, it's like you're comparing yourself to somebody else, say, well, at least I tried.
Right.
I didn't do what they did. I wasn't as good as they were, quote unquote, but at least I tried. But when we foster that type of mentality, it's like, even when there's nobody else in the room.
Right.
There's nobody else in the picture. You're saying, I'm still gonna give just the bare minimum, and say because I've already accepted the fact that all I gotta do is at least I tried.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Throw it up and see what happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So we say, well, I ain't gotta please nobody else, you know, as long as I'm happy with it. But like,
are you?
Right. Cause like, fast forward then and see don't you have those regrets?
Mm-hmm.
And get this, who can you blame? Who can you blame? Because it's like, well, shoot, they were better than me. But no. Remember, you said at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so like you came in on the like, so okay, yeah, you came in on the bottom level, but you were satisfied with the bottom level.
Right.
So you chose to stay there on the bottom level. You chose no challenge.
But watch this. When you say that, at least I tried, you're trying to give yourself an excuse to say there was some people that was out there that didn't even try.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I did better than them.
Right.
That's my out. That's my way of thinking. Like, you know, okay, I've done something. Because other people didn't even try at all, but at least I tried. But if you only tried your minimum, the least, you know, you almost did yourself a disservice because you've wasted time, effort, energy, and everything in doing the bare minimum.
Right.
You could have been over there with everybody else that didn't do nothing at all.
You know what? So I want to give a shout out to my love, to my baby, to my wife, Regina. She is graduating with her master's.
Oh, wow, that's big.
But no, she's graduating with honors.
Oh, wow.
Masters
That's what's
with
up.
honors. So, like, here's the thing.
I'm gonna insert the apply button right there.
So here's the thing. Me, it's like, well, shoot. What I make? A D? Oh, D, a passing grade.
D's get degrees.
Right. D means didn't fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what I settle for, not failing. So it's kind of like you said. Well, there's some folks out there, they didn't even go to college.
Right.
At least I tried. I'm a college dropout, but at least I went.
Right.
You know.
That's the wrong mindset to have.
Right.
Because again, it's almost you're in your own way.
Mm-hmm.
Because the time and effort that you put into that, at least I tried. If the same energy, you know what I'm saying, that going ahead and applying yourself for real, the same time almost, you know, you could have done a whole lot more.
Right.
You know, and it's not necessarily about actually doing, or let's say even you're talking about Gina and degree. It might not even be you might not even get that degree.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that you gave it your all.
Right.
You know, that's the goal.
Right. You know, that's what they say about, you know, Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. They leave it all out on the court.
Right.
You know, Allen Iverson left it all out on the court. You know, some of the greatest like Tom Brady left it all out on the field. You know, no, he's not. He's not. You know, I'm a hate on Tom Brady. I'm a Joe Montana fan, but no, they leave it all out. They give it their all. You know what I mean? They do that. Where then you have some folks like, well, shoot, at least I made it.
Right.
At least I made it to the NBA. Okay, yeah, you made it, but now what? Now what? Because here's the thing. So what if you're not the star, right? Mm-hmm. But did you give it your all?
Right.
Like, did you give LeBron James a run for his money? Did you try to? Or were you afraid and you ain't finna embarrass me?
Oh, my ankle hurt. I gotta go sit down.
Right. So like, I'm gonna take it there to the Bible.
Go
I am
ahead.
because we are, Raw Talk Christian podcast, so we got to. So here's the thing: the children, the 10 spies, when they went, into what was it, Jericho or something like that, they was like, well, hey, no, it wasn't Jericho. But anyway, they went over to Canaan. That's what it was.
Okay, yeah.
They went over to Canaan. They was like, we look like ants to them.
Right.
Like, wait a minute. Didn't you just cross,
Right.
like, on dry ground where water was for thousands of years? You came across on dry ground. You saw where the water stood. You saw it part. But you gonna say we look like ants to them.
Right.
So, like, that's what we do. That's what I've done. I'm gonna deal with me. That's what I've done. I'm like, man, well, shoot, I ain't the smartest. I ain't, I ain't the cutest. But at least I tried.
Right.
I ain't brushed my hair, but I did take a shower. So,
Yeah.
like, what we do, think about it. I'm going to call out my mistakes before you do. Because, I'm comfortable with being me. And I don't want you to challenge me to be
Anything else?
anything
Any
else.
better?
Any better. I don't want,
Yeah.
no, don't challenge me don't challenge me.
Right.
Right.
I'm good with being who I am.
Right. Me, myself, I'm happy.
What was it? I think it was another podcast we did earlier. We were talking about how people be like, this is just who I am.
Yeah.
That's just who you settle for.
Right.
That's not what you were called to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not who God had planned for you to be. But that's who you settle for. But those things, when we do that, when we don't deal with ourselves, when we don't deal with me, watch this. Because of the culture, not the culture, because of the mindset that we have, because of the way we move when we don't want to deal with me, because of the way that we allow things to just happen, because we don't want to deal with me, guess what? If we have children, guess what they're going to do? They're going to see you doing that.
Right.
And you're going to think, well, I'm doing enough to get by.
Right.
But you're setting a precedent
Right.
for them. And so they're going to come along and say, okay, well, all I got to do is enough to get by, the bare minimum. Because if I do the bare minimum, I still be able to get to the next place.
Right.
To the next level, And when it's not, we can't just settle.
Right. Man, so I want to say this because you said something, man. My guy, one of my favorite artists, Music Soul Child, he says this. He said, there's a difference between good and great because good wasn't built to last. And we settle for good. We settle for good. So, like, TJ, my son, man, he had like this kind of like skills and drills for soccer. And man, like, he took soccer serious. Like, so there was this drill that they had to do where it was like somewhat of a little obstacle course, mini obstacle course, but while the other kids were finishing in 14 seconds and 12 seconds and 10, TJ finished in 6.
Wow.
6 seconds, this drill.
Wow.
But like, other kids were lackadaisical and, they're around his age. Some may be younger, some may be a little older. But like, when it comes to sports or even music like drums, he puts his all into it. And I'm like, okay, I ain't finna live through him, but I sure don't want him to live through me.
Wow.
Because I didn't give my all. Yeah, I played some good basketball. But Marcus White was a beast.
Yeah.
He was a beast, but it's like, I said, well, his family can take him to, he went to a private school, and, his family could do this and they could do that. We came from the project, so, You know, we just had to do with what we had. But no, it's not true. Because I had a buddy, Marco, who played basketball. You know, I had other homeboys who played football and did track and all that stuff, and they were in the neighborhood.
Right.
No excuse.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, you know what I said? I didn't have the support. I didn't have, like, my mama worked, you know, so she did her best, you know. But yeah.
And again, that's why I said, like, starting off, like, we understand situations may be valid. You know what I'm saying? We're not discounting the situation that you may be dealing with. Even if it's like a mental aspect to it, you know what I'm saying? If you're dealing with depression, anxiety, things like that, we're not discounting any of those things at all. What we're saying is, if you know, if you're not dealing with yourself,
Right.
you're never gonna reach the point
Right.
that God wants you to reach.
Right.
And on top of that, well, not on top of that, but right along with that, you're not gonna ever reach the level that you want to reach.
Right.
You know, so stop blaming, or stop letting other things be your reason
Right.
for not applying yourself
Right. Right.
to whatever the situation is.
Right.
If it's parenting, if it's your marriage, if it's your job, if it's driving to work. I don't care if somebody cut you off. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that now that you're mad that you start speeding, you know, anything like that, or now you start driving angrily. No. Stop allowing other things to cause you to, you know what I'm saying, say, hey, I'm gonna blame everything else
Right,
on myself.
right,
One thing I tell my son TJ also, because he sometimes when he gets upset, he gets like hot, mad. So I tell him, I say, TJ, it's okay for you to be upset. All right, there's nothing wrong with being upset. But one thing is that you can't control what other people do or say to you. But the thing you have control over is how you respond.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing. It's me.
Right.
They can say something to me crazy. They can talk about me. You know, how do I respond in that situation?
Right.
Because if I respond the wrong way, then yeah, they affected me. There was some outside interference, but I have to make a choice on how I want to respond.
Right. So, you know, man, I just realized, you know, so the date of this recording is July 27th, right? 1 year ago today is when I had my surgery. 1 year ago today. So I'm a year in change. I'm a year in change. And this is what I mean. So I think I mentioned it before, you know, on the podcast. Man, at one point I was, you know, 283 or something along those lines. I have a family history of diabetes, and I was a diabetic. Family history of, you know, high cholesterol, and, you know, I had high cholesterol, you know, so I had some issues, health issues. So, like, before then, though, you know, before, you know, last year, I had been working out quite a bit. And this is how, you know, I overcame me, because, like, you know, I joined the Army because of this guy. You know, he was one of the first people I knew. Tim was one of the first people I knew went to the Army. You know, I also have another cousin named Tim McCoy, went to the Army. My I had Marco, Jermaine, you know, even Sid Jackson, you know,
Yeah.
all of them went to the, you know, to the military. Brian, you know, all of them went to the military. So I was like, you know, well, I know quite a few folks that went to the military. Shout out to my dad and my Uncle Arthur, my Uncle Barrett. You know, a lot of folks I knew went to the military. So I was like, well, you know, I'll go too, you know. So I went to the military, not because of me, because of them. You know, so that's one of the things that we do too is we don't do for ourselves, we do for others. We don't, like I said, I didn't do me right. You know what I mean? So when I got out of the military though, I was like, man, I ain't working out no more. They done made me work out. No, I ain't finna do that no more. You know, ain't nobody chasing me, you know.
Drinking all this water all the time. I don't know water no more.
Right, no. Straight Kool-Aid and pop.
Right.
Purple. But so like I began to, after that I began to have health reasons, you know, joint pain and all of that stuff, man. And so with all of this stuff going on, man, I was like, man, look, you know, I can't keep doing this, you know. Now, I'll say this, sometimes taking care of me means also putting other people in perspective. So, because, like, it's not just me. There are things that are attached to me. You know, like I mentioned my son, TJ, you know, my daughter, you know, Chloe. Man, Chloe does track and all that, cheerleading and all that stuff. You know, so here's the thing about both, you know, Chloe and TJ. Both of them are athletes, but like both of them also have like issues that, you know, like Chloe has, she was dealing with a messed up knee. TJ is a bad asthmatic, you know, but like they didn't let that stop them. They still give it their, like they go in so tough. And I'm like, okay, both of these my kids, but I know they didn't get that from me. You know.
But here's the thing, though. You say something like that, is that, help me, Lord, because you look at a child, when they want to do something, they can focus on it. They don't have they're not worried about situations like bills. They're not worried about how they're gonna eat. They're not worried about how they're gonna get to their games or nothing like that.
Right.
They're not worried about any of that stuff. They have the freedom to focus and put it all out there.
Right.
We were like that at one point in time. Regardless of what it was, it might not have been, when you look back and say, it might not have been sports, but it might have been video games. You know what I'm saying? I might not be able to do a backflip, but you know what I'm saying? You can mess with me in Madden.
Right.
Y'all heard that, right? You couldn't touch me in Madden. But, you know what I'm saying? But we could focus on it because we didn't have to worry about these other outside interferences or they wasn't a prevalent thing in our mind. Fast forward to today. Now we got jobs, we got bills,
Right.
We got family, we got spouses, we have all this other stuff that we're thinking about. And the thing, the gift, the purpose, you know what I'm saying, that is on our life, that God's placed on our life, we don't focus on that thing because we're worried about everything else. Now, why should you say, well, it's different? Because we have to. The reason why as a little kid, the reason why children don't have to worry about this stuff is because they know they have a father or a mother or parents, you know what I'm saying, guardians, whoever it is, that take care of that stuff for them.
Right. Right.
And you get to this point where we are now as adults, like, well, I can't depend on nobody else. I got to do this myself now. But no, we still have a father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have a father who is in the same position that he owns. He owns everything.
Right.
All
right.
powerful.
Right.
All knowing. All seeing. He stands outside of time. You know, and so he knows and he has everything for us But the problem is, we want to worry about that stuff. Right. Now, say, well, it's different because you're adult. If you look at it, it's kind of silly.
Right.
If our kids like, Mama, Daddy, how we gonna pay the light bill? You talking about how we gonna pay the light bill?
Real?
What?
What you mean we? What job you got?
Why you worried about it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing. It's like our Heavenly Father's like, y'all know I got this, right?
Right.
God, I mean, well, how we gonna pay this light bill? How we gonna do this? Why are you worried about that?
Right.
I got that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's nothing. If I can be death, hell, in the grave, you know what I'm saying? That's nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we take this stuff on ourselves. When the word says, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to lay all your burdens at his feet. You know what I'm saying? Cast our cares upon him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And once we do that, then we take his yoke is easy and his burdens are light. Right. So we are exchanging the great exchange.
Right.
Our worries are things that's weighing us down, the thing that has our minds so confounded and confused. And we exchange like, here, well, God, I'm gonna give you this. He's like, yeah, I got this.
Right.
Take this. This is light.
Right.
Because on your own, you can't handle this.
Right.
Although you think you got it, you think you going to work and you think you're doing it by yourself, but if you just be real, on your own, you can't handle that.
Right.
So yeah, I'm sorry.
And not only that, but on our own, we don't even know who we are. We don't. So when you say, well, I'm just doing me, are you? Because God is like this. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You doing you ain't living up to that. It's not living up to fearfully and wonderfully made. That's what I made you. So like, if you are not being fruitful, multiplying, and subduing the earth, if you're not doing that, then you're living below what I created you to be. So if that's you, stop. Stop doing you.
Yeah.
And be the you that I created you to be. That's for somebody. I know it's for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Me too.
But be the you that I created you to be. And I understand that it's easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not an excuse. It's not. I can't, you know. So like I'm on that, you know, that treadmill today, racing Marcus. You know.
Right.
I was getting it. I know people behind me was like, look at him. Look at But you know what? I didn't care.
Right.
I didn't care because guess what? For a moment, I tapped in to not only the strength, but the endurance that God gave me. I tapped into that. It's
Right.
like, you see how hard you worked? You see how hard you did that? And get this. If you would have been doing this the whole time, this wouldn't even be hard for you.
Come on, man. Come on, man. If you would have got out of your own mind,
Right.
saying what you can't do,
Right.
or what you hate to do. I hate cardio because I said, boy, I used to say that too. Man, I can't stand cardio. I go in the gym, lift weights all day.
This dude
Just
right
hate
here.
cardio. You know what I'm saying? But
I seen not the bench, but the things that hold all the weights. He went in there and just. But the thing is, you know, you even worked your way to the throwing heavy weight, you know, because you didn't, you know, you started somewhere, but and you didn't say, well, at least I started.
right.
You're like, all right, well, this week I'm gonna do this. Well, this week, okay, you know, I gotta beat this, and that's the thing, you know. We're supposed to continue to make strides, you know. We continue to get better. We're supposed to continue to grow, but so often we settle, you know. So like when my wife come and confront me about where I am, You know, I can't, you know, because it's on air now. We putting it out. You know, I can't say, well, this is just me. No, I got to live with that and be like, man, you know, I'm gonna be mad. She gonna hear it. I ain't gonna do it right away. You know, but you know, but no, I can't just keep doing me the way I've been doing me because
Right.
it's neglect, it's abuse the way we do ourselves, you know, settling for less, not taking some challenges. You
Right,
know,
right.
it's like I said earlier, it's a disservice to us.
And so when you talk about what are some different outcomes when you actually get out of your own way? What are some benefits of getting out of your own way? I guess one of the things that come to my mind is when I get out of my own way, I take limits off. You were just talking about that.
Right.
And when I get out of my own way, because there is a purpose. There's a goal. God has a purpose for your life. You know what I'm saying? But when you can't get out of your own way, you limit yourself. And you might be all right. You know what I'm saying? You might have a all right job. You might have a all right house. You might have an all right relationship with your spouse. You may have a all right relationship with your children. But you're limited because you're in your way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not only are you in your way, you're in God's way. Because what he has for you is not just all right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What he has for you is abundance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What he has for you is worry free. What he has for you is not having to look over your shoulder or not having to check your bank account every day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you're wondering, oh man, am I gonna have enough to cover this and cover that?
Right.
You know, what he has for you is a freedom. And once you take yourself out of the way, my God, and let him have it, man, the you know, they say the sky's the limit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I like the way Molly Music said. They said the sky ain't the limit no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's one of the benefits of getting out of your way is that you take the limits off of yourself.
Right. You know, so we take the limits off of ourselves, and a good thing to do when we're taking limits off of ourselves, especially, you know, when we continue to grow in that, man, what we can then do is we got a whole repertoire now of things that we like, you know what, man, I grew from here. I know I have this other obstacle coming, but I remember when I had this obstacle. I know a totally different situation,
Right.
but the outcome is the same. Overcome.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it. That's it. And that's what we talk about, overcome. So the outcome should always be overcome.
Right.
Overcome, so like, I have to overcome me. So like, as I was saying earlier about, you know, today is my 1 year anniversary of my surgery, you know, of my weight loss surgery. I had to overcome that. That was something I thought about for a second, like, should I, shouldn't I? Okay, well, I'm gonna work out, you know, and I did that. But like sometimes I had to be real with me, man, you ain't disciplined enough. So go ahead and put this tool in place. Go ahead and do some research. Go ahead and get other testimonials about things, you know, because like even though you're trying to do you better, man, there's some folks who like this guy encourages me quite a bit. We do the same for one another, but man, I get a lot of encouragement. You know, there were times where I felt like I bombed on a sermon. He was like, "Oh no, let me help you out with that. Let me tell you what I got from it." Or, you know, there was an experience that I had. Hey, no, I'm going to free you from bondage, you know, of that type of thinking. You know, they are that way because of them, but you are you. And yeah, you know, so like, you know, you're going to hear from other people, you know, when you're trying to, because sometimes we don't see it. And starting out,
Right.
starting out especially, we may not see it, you know, so like, you know, that's why it's cool to have that good friend that say, hey man, you know, it's good to have that significant other, you know, that expect better from you. My wife tell me all the time, she said, you know, man, you just don't know what you can do. You just don't know what you can do. But me, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do it. No, no, not gonna do it.
Right.
You know, but she was like, so like, and it'd be like simple things that my wife uses as encouragement. You know, she was like, I've been dealing with this for about 20 minutes, and you come right in and it's fixed just like that. You know, you're like, you just don't know what it is that you can do. So like, you're gonna get that from people that'll say, hey, you know what, man, you got this. I remember when you had to deal with this.
Right.
You know, so like, you know, I was like, all right, so I did my weight loss. I use it as a tool, and I'm in the gym at least, you know, 3 or 4 times a week trying to get it in, you know, because like I said this, you know, said I'm 40 years old now, and my flesh has been trying to kill me for 40 years. 40 years, my flesh ain't meant me no good. 40 years, my flesh has been trying to keep me separate from God.
Right.
40 years. 40 years, my flesh is like, you know, my flesh has been trying to put me in hell for 40 years. How? Man, see me on the road. See me on the road. You know, man, truck drivers, I love y'all, but I don't. You know what I mean? Slow drivers, I love you, but I don't. You know? So like, but that was me. That was me. And guess what? It's still me. And I gotta work on that. I gotta work on that. So like, get this. Even I'm still having to overcome me. I ain't gonna never stop overcoming me.
Right. That's it right there. Because it's not a destination, it's a journey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like you talking about the weight loss and everything like that, it's not a destination, it's a journey.
Right.
And so, but the first step in that is, or overcoming yourself, I would have to say is, you have to acknowledge the fact that I might be the issue.
Right.
It might not be everybody else.
Right.
It might be me. You know what I'm saying? Because, or ask the question, is there something that I can do differently to change the outcome of this situation? Go back and evaluate old situations and say, okay, I got in an argument with my wife. The argument was over the trash. She wanted it done this way. I want to do it this way. Is there something that maybe I could have done in that situation? Wait. That means you gotta get rid of that pride too.
Come on, man. We're gonna talk about that later.
I gotta get rid of that pride too, because that means I have to come back and be like, you know what? Even though I think I was right, could there have been a better way of doing it?
Right.
Could there have been a better way of saying it? Could there have been a better way of thinking about the situation? And so you have to actually acknowledge the fact that I might be the issue. And then once I acknowledge that I might be the issue, or I could have done something differently, then you have to actually go and actively seek that. Because it doesn't do any good to just acknowledge something and then not do anything about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can say, hey, a car speeding toward me. I'm like, oh, look at that car speeding toward me. And if I sit there, I'm still get hit.
Right.
I need to get out the way.
Right.
So if I know that there is something that's potentially causing damage
Right.
in my life, at home, at work, at church, wherever it is, in my car on the way to work, you know what I'm saying, driving, maybe I need to reevaluate my part in the situation.
Right.
You know?
Right. And I think that's something, you know, like you said, you know, that's something that we can all do. You know, we spoke on earlier how, you know, we say, well, at least I tried, right? Well, at best I gave it my all. You have to. So, okay, at least you tried. I'm gonna give you that, but at best you need to give it your all.
Right.
So like you can't
Yeah.
you can't just stay there because like you even let's use the trash taking out the trash scenario. Well, at least I tried, but at best I really wanted to understand what it was that she saw.
Right. That's that. Yeah.
You know,
That part.
so like there may be steps to it, you know, and you'll have to figure out what it's going to take for you to overcome you. You have to figure that out, but you do have to realize. So I mean, what Harvey Watkins say? I think that from the Canton Spirituals, let me take inventory. You know, take inventory and say and see it. But I guarantee you will see where your body has tried to kill you, where your flesh has tried to kill you.
Right.
Every attitude that you've had, your flesh, that was your flesh trying to kill you. So yeah, there's some things that you can do better. You know, if you are happy with being petty, man, that's your flesh trying to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because not everybody like petty. Petty done got people put in the grave.
Come on.
It has.
Come on.
Petty done got people put in jail. Y'all ain't see that that Dave Chappelle when Keeping It Real go wrong? Y'all ain't see that? I know it was a skit,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure there are thousands of stories,
Right.
that, like jail cell and graveyard stories that started just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I kept it real. At least I kept it real.
Right. Right.
But at best, you could have thought it through. Think about it, you know. So if
Yeah.
you're gonna start at least, you had to end up at best.
I like that. Change the construct.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good, man. So I mean, again, it's good to talk about it.
Right. Right.
It's good to have the ideal. It's good to ponder about it. You know what I'm saying? But now we're at a point to where we can't just keep talking about it.
Right.
We have to actually do something.
Right.
And I think that practical application is the key to getting out of your own way, overcoming yourself. Again, acknowledging what the situation is, acknowledging how, you know what I'm saying, if it's you in the situation, whatever the situation is, say, how can I change? What resources are available to me? Where can I learn about whatever this situation is? How can I learn about myself so I can make the situation better? But it's time to move beyond talking.
Right. You know, and for some who, if you need the Bible reference, prime example is Jabez. Jabez, like his name meant sorrow. It meant pain. That's what he was known for. You know, that's what people knew him as. You know, but he wanted he didn't want a negative connotation on his name because, you know, your name is you.
Right,
It's who you
right.
are, you know. So he said, enlarge my territory,
Yeah.
you know. And so, prime example. So, like, you don't, so what I'm trying to say is this. There won't be change unless there is conviction. You won't apply anything unless you are convicted by, you know, where you are or by what we're saying, you know, because if what we're saying is getting to you, then I mean, it's for a reason. And you don't have to just you don't have to beat yourself up, you know, because that's not treating you any better either by beating yourself up.
Right.
You know, if you're gonna beat yourself up, do it in a way to where it's positive. Like Paul said, I buffet my body, you know. So like, you know, and he said I beat it under subjection. So like I get in the gym and my arms are hurting. I'm like, so? Been trying to kill me all this time? You need this. When I'm hungry, so? No, you need God more than you need food. Man shall not live by bread alone, right?
Yep.
You know, so like, you know, if you're gonna beat yourself up, do it in a way that it will honor God. Because when you do it in a way that honor God, now you're treating yourself better.
Right.
Because what you're doing is now you're matching yourself up with what God intended you to be, and that was his image and his likeness. And that's the mold that we're supposed to fit into. And we're going to continue to grow, but and you gotta start somewhere, and there has to be practical application.
Yes.
And you know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
We know where it is.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of it.
Right.
And we've said it before. These things, change may not always be easy,
Right.
but and a lot of times, it's in the most difficult change
Right.
that you grow the most. So this is worth it.
Right.
Find that resource. If the resource is a book, if it's first of all, resource of the Bible. If it's a book, if it's a person, if it's professional help, whatever it is, find that resource that's going to help you to challenge
Right.
yourself and then help you to apply that practical application.
Right.
All right. So, man, look, overcoming me.
Man.
Hey, we did it, man.
Right. It
So-
got deep. It was supposed to get deep.
Yeah.
Because before we hit record, it was already deep, man.
Right.
So,
And so we're not talking about anything that we're facing the stuff that we talk about.
exactly, man.
And so again, it's a glimpse into what we're dealing with,
Right.
what we talk about, some of the things like that. And so, look, we'll be praying for everybody
Right.
that's listening and to these podcasts, that you all can overcome whatever that situation is. And like, again, because we are going through the same thing also, hey, if God led in your heart to pray for us, hey, we take it all.
Man, for real.
Yeah, so definitely. We're not in a position of that we've already obtained or already overcome everything that we're talking about. So the process that we're working through is working it out right here and in front of you all, with you all, and with everybody else. So so again, we're praying for you all. Lord, place on your heart, pray for us as well. This has been good, man.
Man, it has. And if it's been good to you, please like, subscribe, hit that button. If you on YouTube, hit that button, that notification bell, so you could catch a episode every time it comes out.
Yeah.
And share it. Share it. Don't keep this to yourself. Just like we know that we need to overcome me. A lot of folks who need to overcome themselves too.
Right.
A lot of us need to get out of our own way, and we know a lot of folks like that. So share this, and hopefully it be not only a blessing to others, but hopefully you'll see change in them.
That's what's up. All right. So as always, thank you all for joining us. And until next time, this has been Tim.
And I'm Tony.
Thank you for joining us, Raw Talk Christian Podcast. And we will see you all next time. Be good.
Peace.